Will heaven be worth it? I imagine that your knee-jerk response to that question is a resounding yes. You may even think that it's silly to even ask such a question because the answer is so obvious. But before you decide to turn the radio station to listen to something else, please consider this question once again. Friends, the question is not, will heaven be good? Or will you enjoy being in heaven? Or do you think you want to go to heaven? The question is, will heaven be worth it? Friends, heaven has a price, and that price means we must pay something if we hope to gain entrance to heaven. Will heaven be worth the price of that admission? That's a more challenging question for us. The price to enter heaven is quite high. In fact, it costs everything we own and everything that we are. If we are to enter heaven, then we must pay forward all of our selfishness, all of our personal ambitions, all of our physical blessings of life, all of our vices and desires of the flesh. Paul shows us in Galatians that Christians crucify these self-interests. They forfeit their lives in order to serve the Lord, Galatians 2 and verse 20. Now make no mistake about it, the price of heaven is nothing less than our very lives. And is heaven really going to be worth that? Well, writing to Christians who are pondering this same question amidst a very fearful and increasing persecution, Peter himself answers with a resounding yes, heaven will be worth it. He writes, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who according to his great mercy has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to obtain an inheritance imperishable and undefiled, and will not fade away, reserved for you in heaven." 1 Peter 1, 3 and 4. Heaven will be worth it because it will be imperishable. To perish means to decay or to pass away. And we may rightly make the point that heaven will be a happy and joy-filled place. And the assurances concerning the joy of our spiritual home are well documented. Hebrews describes it as a place of rest. Revelation describes it in what seems to be a reinvented Garden of Eden type location. Romans simply and very profoundly speaks of being glorified. Though Peter's purpose here is not to add to the list of joys, but to assure us that those joys are never going to decay. Heaven is eternal. It's going to last forever. We do not pay our lives in order to get hundreds of years, thousands of years, even millions of years with God. We pay the rest of our lives on earth in order to get God forever. And that's a bargain. How many years do you have left in this life? Are they more valuable to you than eternity? Yes, heaven will be worth it. But also heaven will be worth it because it is undefiled. To defile is to ruin something or to make it dirty. Defilement is a stain on one's soul. It is a sin that is unrepented of. And sin defiles the world around us. We look around and we see sin is the ultimate culprit behind the things that go on in this life. But heaven is undefiled. It is untouched by sin and all of its ugly consequences. And God will wipe away every tear from our eyes. And there will no longer be any death. There will no longer be any mourning or crying or pain, for these first things have passed away. Revelation 21 and verse 4. Those are all things we have to deal with here in this life. But those are things that will all be laid aside. For there are no tears in heaven. There is no pain and no suffering there. There is no death in heaven. For all of those things are a part of defilement, and there is no defilement in heaven. Is it really worth it? Now, I'm sure that everyone listening to this today would say that yes, it does sound worth it. But are you willing to do the Lord's will? in order to make that place your eternal home. Please consider these things as we've discussed them today, and if we can assist you with your spiritual life, please let us know. God bless.